Today I'm going to take iconic characters from Poppy Playtime and build them out of my pile of Lego bricks, and along the way recreate their iconic scenes from the game. And the first character I want to make is the prototype. He's the big bad of the entire series and finally appeared in Chapter 5. And I want him to be minifig scale. So after dumping out my collection, I brickified my pile. Alright, and we have enough for the prototype, so let's start building.
He's stretchy, he's gummy, he's squishy, he's funny. D-O-E-Y. He's silly, he's gooey, he's sticky, he's gluey.
Alright, wait a minute. Almost done. No, he looks pretty cool. But wait a minute, I can make him better. So I went to my Disney figure collection and grabbed a Jack Skellington head. Nope, that won't do. There it is. Because, you know, they have a pretty similar face. And we're just gonna take it back, pop it on, and now we have a Jack Skellington prototype. He's sufficiently creepy, has the arms of Mommy Longlegs, Kissy Missy, and Huggy Wuggy, and the skin of Catnap. And conveniently, I have a Huggy and Kissy minifig, which is cool because, wait a minute. Huggy, Kissy, you know what's going on?
Remove a patent by bringing in an earth saver.
Oh no, Kissy. Then the next character I'm gonna build is our boy Huggy Wuggy. Not like the minifig version, like the actual damaged one from Chapter 5. But the first thing I have to do is dump out all the parts. Alright, and here's our boy Huggy Wuggy, or should I call him City Witty, because, you know, he's sitting. Yeah, he's really damaged, and he has these bandages, these bloody spots, and even this chunk coming out of his head. Yo, Huggy, how are you doing? Yo, look, Huggy's holding me. Please don't eat me, Huggy. Okay, I'm gonna run away now. Alright, it's Kissy time! I guess now I know what it's like to get kissed. And the first thing I had to build for Kissy was the torso, then all the other body parts. It was pretty simple. Half of it was black and half of it was pink, because, you know, in the game, she just got completely charred. Or Kissy. I actually always liked her, even though, you know, she shakes her teeth. Anyway, she's very furry, and we're using all these slope pieces for the fur. And then I built out her arm and her legs. She's missing another arm, because, you know. And then I just put in her eyes. One is full of life, and one is a little droopy. And she looks pretty good. She literally looks like the toys from the game. It even has the, like, flexibility of, like, a stuffed animal. Her and Huggy can even have this cute bonding and be really cute with each other. Oh, look at them. They could hug and kiss. Look at the little adorable guys. Hopefully the prototype, you know, does it. You know what, we're just gonna ignore that. Now this Poppy's a lot easier, because, you know, she's small. But remember how the prototype, you know, kind of popped her eye out? So this build has that too. All right, so the first thing we have to build is the feet. All right, now that we got that done, it's dress time. All right, so we're gonna build Poppy, and this is gonna be interesting. That's not a promise, but it's probably what's gonna be. All right, now we're gonna do the head, the hair, and the face. Oh yeah, right, she has a torso too. I kind of forgot about that. And legs, oops. Awesome, we have Poppy. But since we have this broken Kissy and broken Poppy, I'm gonna have them both try to escape the prototype. Now there's another character in that whole tea party scene that I want to make, and it's Lily Love Braid. Now she's really cool because she's basically the main bad guy of the game outside of the prototype, who's like the bad guy of the series. And she has this really cool thing she could do with her hair where she could literally grab anyone with it. And I want to do that in Lego form. And building her should be pretty simple. So I started off by making her whole torso, and she has this little star at the center of it because she's supposed to be like some type of kindergarten teacher turned, you know, evil pear lady. And then it was doing her head, which also wasn't that hard. The hard part for Lily Love Braids, of course, is her braids, you know, because she has like giant hair with this little guy in it. And that took me legitimately forever. But here she is. Bro, she's actually evil looking. What the heck? Why is there a hole in her neck? Also, it's low-key kind of weird. If you remove the smile on her face, she literally just looks like she's whistling. All right, enough. Bro, this thing's freaking awesome. Now the issue is she's really unstable. I mean, watch this. Bleh. And she also comes with this little koala toy, which is cool. But in order to actually do something with her, I have to build her little inside out. They're those little guys that were running around and eating out of Bronn and attacking you where Giblet had to save you. So we're gonna try to get one of those so that way she could grab one with her hair. Isn't that right, Lily? And conveniently, we have the parts for 2 of them. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is this little inside Outimal's leg. I don't think these guys have names. I think it's just like random inside Outimal number 1 and 2. So we're just gonna try our best here. All right, we got the torso. We're gonna snap in the arm. Where's the other arm? Get it? Boop. And of course, the head. Sweet. He comes with these little jagged teeth. And we gotta build out the rest of the mouth. All right, and then we're gonna snap in his eyes, and bro looks goofy. I mean, legitimately, these inside Outimals are kind of cursed. But it looks like we still have enough for some more, and even some extra hair that maybe I didn't add on to Lily. Sorry, Lily. Ah! Oh no, she's got me!
Ow! Oh, you're gonna get it now.
All right, now these are all the characters we have so far, but we still have to build a couple more from Poppy Playtime Chapter 5. But out of all of these builds so far, I'd say probably the best one is Huggy Wuggy. He looks the most accurate, he's the most battle damage, and Lily just can't stand upright. I'm not even gonna push her over. Now before I could build the prototype, I had to dump out all my Lego parts and download the Brickify app, because I'm gonna use it to scan all my parts and see if I could sort them all out and have enough to build it. And it looks like I do. So let's get cracking. All right, now that we have the parts scanned, let's build the base. We need to make connection points for the legs. So we're gonna do this. All right, we need one of these. Boom. All right, we're gonna attach this to this base. This is where the fun begins. Oh, and by the way, huge shout out to Brickfolk for the designs. I have to put all these in here. All right, now we gotta build its guts. This piece, we need 4 of these, and some of these, and some of these. All right, now it's time for the rib cage. I don't know why I said it like that. All right, now time to add the actual ribs. Oh, bruh, it sounds like I said Oprah. You get a rib, you get a rib, you get a rib. For those who don't know, Oprah gave out cars, not ribs. All right, we're locking this back in. All right, now we just gotta finish off the body. All right, now we're adding the catnap back. Oh yeah, I guess this is the front side of him. All right, these are where the hands are gonna go. All right, now we're gonna add all these stud hopper round pieces, and then we're gonna do these. Boop, click, pop. All right, it's cat skin time. Yo, okay, now he's starting to look like a thing. Well, not on this side, but don't worry, it'll get there too. All right, we're adding his little light. All right, and we're adding another 2 of these bad Larrys. Okay, this is sick. Now we gotta add those extra arms. And the first one we're doing is Kissy Missy. Here's her hand, and here's her thumb. Wait a minute, is this the head? Oh, I feel dumb. All right, let's wrap up the head. We're so close. All right, last hat, or whatever these are called. All right, now you have this eye and this eye hole, and then the mouth. I'm iffy about the face. It's neck time. Yeet. All right, we're getting close. Okay, and here's our boy, the prototype. Yeah, I mean, look at this guy. He looks great. The issue is the legs. Unless you have those little clear pieces, they just don't work, and he just collapses in on himself like a dying prototype. I could totally see him killing the player. Wait, what? Hey, what's going on? Well, friend, did you subscribe? No, I didn't.
You should subscribe.
No, he's not joking. Do it now. All right, but now that we built the prototype, we have to put him at the bottom of the factory. And this is gonna be difficult just because the bottom of the factory is like right here. So what if we tried putting him at the top for a little bit? All right, let's go all the way upstairs. Oh, yo, it's the prototype. Today I'm going to simulate Poppy Playtime Chapter 5 in LEGO by recreating all the important characters in LEGO, then animating their scenes from the chase scene to Lily Love Braids to the most shocking parts of the entire game. Building all the different detailed characters, jump scares, and even deaths. But first I want to start by building a damaged Huggy Wuggy. Because the last time I built a Huggy, it was this really friendly looking one that doesn't match how damaged and scary he looked in the game. So I went to my parts collection and started gathering enough parts to build this damaged version of him, which is probably gonna chase me down later. Then I put all my parts on the table and scanned them using the Brickify app, which gave me instructions as well as where the parts were on the table. And like that, I have this really cool battle damaged Huggy Wuggy from Brickify. And he's freaking scary looking. He's got these giant lips with full on teeth. He's all bandaged up and missing a hand. And he's even got broken legs. I don't know if I'd want to hug him. He doesn't look very huggable in my opinion. I'd definitely give this Huggy Wuggy like a 9 out of 10 in terms of how accurate it is. I mean, bro, look at him. All right, now I need to build him digitally and have him chase down the player. I also built up this quick grab pack using these macaroni pieces, studs, and some Technic. All right, this isn't stable. Let's add some handles. All right, boom, now that we have to, I went into Blender and rebuilt the models. It didn't take that long, but you know, they still look pretty good. And now I just have to texture out the whole hallway, adding all the different details and buttons from the game. And now it's just gonna take some time to animate, so let's crush. And after all that hard work, this is what we came up with. Oh my gosh, no! Okay, I think I got it landed. I think we're good. Oh my goodness! Well, hey, at least he has his grab pack. No, his grab pack! Now, next in the game, you get sent down this dark and scary elevator after, you know, Huggy grabbed your grab pack. And when you come out, you start seeing all these little guys crawling around. And they're called... what did I just watch? Anyways, I want to build a few of them, so I went to my parts and got cracking. This little blue one is one of them, and it's super freaky. Got these little brickhead's eyes. So I built him a friend who's green and has a hot dog for a mouth. Now, obviously there are a bunch of inside animals, but we only really saw 2 in the game. Now, one of these inside animals ended up attacking the player, but ended up getting beaten away by this little bear guy named Giblet. He leads the resistance against the prototype, and I want to make him as a minifigure. So I went to my minifigure collection and grabbed this Jonesy, as well as this head of Chip from Disney. I was going to use Fozzie from the Muppets, but his head just isn't the same size as Giblet's, and it doesn't look as accurate. Then I went to my minifigure parts sorter and got legs and arms for Giblet. Then I put down the legs, torso, and head. Obviously, that's not gonna work. And next we're gonna pop and swap the arms off this torso. Oh, we gotta fix those hands. Wait a minute, you know, I just realized something. Giblet? He doesn't wear any pants. Yeah, seriously, look at the picture of him.
What?
So, I guess we gotta take off your pants, bro. All right, we're going to the minifig park collection. All right, where's butt naked bear pants? No, those are all too tall. Oh, here we go. All right, Giblet, get ready to show your giblets. Well, that's technically more accurate. Last I want to get him his little power stick. So I got this for the tip of it. All right, and then we're gonna grab one of these. All right, and we're gonna add this in, and then we're gonna add this in. I don't know, that looks like a pretty good giblet. All right, now the only thing I have to add left is the eye patch, because, you know, he's been damaged since his original version. So I went to my supply shoebox, got a paintbrush, and some black paint.
Careful, SpongeBob! Careful, SpongeBob! SpongeBob, careful! Careful, SpongeBob! Careful, SpongeBob! Careful, SpongeBob! Careful, SpongeBob!
Oh shoot, I could have just done this on a knockoff Freddy Fazbear. I just wasted a perfectly good official Lego minifigure, no! Hey Giblet, what are you doing? Well, I'm gonna smash in these 3 boys if they hit the subscribe button right now. Wait, what? I'm not one of them. All right guys, you're gonna hit that subscribe button up there in 3, 2, 1, boop. All right, they did it. No, they didn't. Oh dang, what do you mean you guys didn't do it? Oh, you didn't? All right, we're gonna do it now. Why? Ready? 3, 2, boop. Okay, great, you all did it. Yay, I'm safe. Thank you for not hitting me, Giblet. And after he took out those inside animals and Walter, he sent us up on a mission to get a new grab pack. And in the game, the grab pack was square in the mouth of this toy dinosaur Bronn. And conveniently, there's this red Lego dinosaur set out with a similar color scheme, and I'm gonna buy it. Copped. All right, let's see if it's here. It's here! All right, and here it is. Let's crack it open. All right, let's get to building. It looks good, but there's still some modifications I have to make. And one of the first things you notice about Bronn is his big eyes that are a little droopy, and this dinosaur's eyes just aren't gonna cut it. So I started tearing apart the head to try and make eyes that look a little more droopy. I got these white cylinder pieces, and I got some of these poles, slipped them into the head. I tried connecting it that way, but it didn't really work. So then I tried another thing, and I started building up this whole thing to hold the eyes, and then I realized, yeah, that's a little too goofy. So he needs eyelids, and I built up this other little contraption, and now he looks a little sleepier. But the other thing Bronn doesn't have is teeth, which is a little bad for a dinosaur. So I decided I probably need to take out his teeth. We're just gonna pull on this tooth out and this tooth. I low-key feel like a dinosaur dentist right now. And boom. And then I just gotta position him a little better, and now he looks a lot closer. But another thing that was interesting about him in the game is his guts were spilling out and the inside animals were eating him. So for his guts spilling out, I got these pink pieces, and we're just gonna do this and this. Bada boom. All right, we got that, and we got this. All right, and here is our boy, Bronn the dinosaur. Yeah, bro's guts are spilling out. No, don't eat at my boy. Now the last thing I need to do is build the new grab pack and put it in his mouth. All right, we're just gonna put this over here and do that. All right, now he's got the grab pack in his mouth. Awesome. All right, let's arm Blocky with the new grab pack. Boom. This one looks and functions a little differently than the last grab pack. Wait a minute, what does this do? Awesome. And when we go back with our new grab pack, we have to meet the next character. And it's Chompkins. And he's a bro who hides you in his pouch like a mama kangaroo. Or stomach, I don't know where we are right now. And I want to build a very accurate version of him. So I went back to my parts pile, dumped it, scanned it with Brickify, and boom, we have almost enough parts to build Mr. Chompkins. So let's do it. And boom, there he is. This dude's really cute and looks just like Chompkins, which I was really disappointed about because he looks so adorable. Anyway, he has these functioning arms. He's got this arm hair under his arm. Ew. And then he's also got another arm. Oh no. Get back in there, Chum. Although he wouldn't be the first character from this franchise to lose an arm. He's got all these details everywhere. He's got 2 eyeballs, and you know, he just looks really cool in red. Yo, he's even got some cake going on. What the heck? Yeah! And this is his mouth, or pouch, but it's a pouch with teeth that makes it more like a mouth. And look, we also fit guys in his pouch, like actual minifigures. No, not again. Oh, please don't eat me, please don't eat me. Oh. Ew, that sounded way too realistic. He also matches the scale of our boy Giblet a lot better. He could like ride him like he's his pal. And we're gonna put him right over here. Yo, they all fit in really well together. I can't wait to build the next character. Anyways, next in the game, we ended up having some bad dreams, and now Huggy's back. And we ended up confronting our next character, Love Braids, who I still have to design. And she also has this crazy hair that she's completely enveloping us in. Wait. What? New in the game, Lily has a purple shirt, and there aren't many of those in Lego, so I got this one from Mojo Jojo, and then I got the star piece and backpack piece, then connected them to the Mojo Jojo torso. Alright, that's pretty good so far. I went back to my minifigure collection to get the Bright Bomber for her legs, and my minifigure parts for the skirt piece. I'm sorry. Ugh. Alright, now we just need a face. And I'll be honest, this one's pretty tough. So I went on ChatGPT and typed in this prompt with Lily, and hopefully we'll get an accurate face. Hey, that's pretty good.
Hey, that's pretty good.
All right, so we went to the printer, got the faces, cut them up, and taped it to the head. And the last thing I have to do for Love Braids is the hair. So I graded my grandma's yarn bin, and we probably should cut up some of these to give to Lily. Hey, get out of there. All right, let's try the first strand. Boom. Yeah, that's not gonna work. We need to think of something better. So I got out this minifigure of Rumi, and you know, I'm kind of just gonna, oops. All right, so we can put that here. That at least like makes the base of the character look good. And then you could start adding all the extra hair stuff from, I guess, that. All right, now we're just gonna put this here, and boom, we have Love Braids. And I'm not gonna know how to braid any of this because I'm not a girl. All right, but we're still gonna try. All right, we got 1 and 2. And that's my attempt at Love Braids. Well, at least we don't have to worry about that yarn hair doing anything bad, right? Right? No! So in the game, Lily brought the player to the cell with Poppy and Kissy Missy, who I want to attempt to build. So let's go back to the parts collection and try Brickify again, because this thing's really useful for building all the characters from Poppy Playtime Chapter 5. And here's our build of Kissy Missy. And she's Missying an arm. What the heck? Anyway, she has this whole burnt side of her face. She was really not looking in good shape in the new chapter, and she'll go really great next to Huggy. But before we can get her out of prison, we need to build the next character she was with, Poppy. And here's our girl, Poppy. She looks really cool, has these cool arms, and, you know, it's pretty basic. But more importantly, she's in scale with Kissy Missy. Oh, Kissy can't stand. All right, let's get these guys out of the Brickify Scanner studio. All right, now we have to free these two from Lily. Let's try that feature with the grab pack we tried earlier. All right, yay, we're free. Oh no, not again. Yeah, so in the game, she took all of them to this weird tea party where we were finally introduced to the big bad of the entire game, the prototype. But first, I have to build him, and he has a lot of weird and complex parts, so I'm gonna start with it digitally. All right, so I started off by building the base, then adding some weird guts on the inside of him. Then I started texturing out his torso with all those weird bone things that he has in the front of him. And then I started clipping in his legs, which he has a lot of. Then in his front, he has Huggy's arm, Kissy's arm, and Mommy Longlegs. Well, arm, not leg. And they're all just sticking out there, so I had to clip them all in. Then we added his little rib cage, and now it's time for like his actual clown costume. And a part of that is his arms, which have these giant scissor knives. And the last part was really easy because it was the head. He has his little clown hat, and then I just slapped on this tile. But now that the model's done, it's time to recreate the scene that he was introduced in animation. And now I just need to work and animate out the whole scene for the prototype, but we're gonna do it in Lego.
Like a child, because
The child is what they made you.
You're hurting me!
totally afraid.
Alright, that was awesome, but now that the prototype is fully unleashed and the gang escaped, they still have to deal with a Lily. Oh wait, right? Hey Lily, where are you going? Oh, she's not dead. Oh, now she is. I guess we don't have to deal with her anymore. She was basically the Doc Ock of Poppy Playtime anyway. So that was a lot. So the next scene, we're gonna calm down a bit and I'm gonna recreate Huggy's and Kissy's reunion. So I built out this small room and put our two characters in here and started to recreate their emotions from this scene. And like that, we have Huggy and Kissy Missy's big reunion. No! Oh no, we have to escape. Not again.
I thought you were gone.
Wait a minute, we're alive? Giblet? All right, I still have to build one more character that was revealed at the end of the game, and that's Dr. Harley Sawyer, who's alive and well in this filing cabinet that Giblet's, I just guess, been holding out on us the whole time. And I guess I have to build him. So I went back to the part pile one more time and scanned all my bricks with Brickify, and it turns out I have enough parts to build him. All right, and inside is the doctor. He even has his eye and everything, but I think there's a little bit of a cooler mod we could do to this.
My name is Harley Sawyer. I'm called the Doctor.
All right, and now that's legitimately all the different scenes from Poppy Playtime Chapter 5 in LEGO. So now we're gonna build ones from the other chapter. This is my table covered in Lego bricks, and today I'm going to challenge myself to build the Playtime Co. factory in Lego, where each level will represent a different chapter of the game, going all the way to the top with the prototype. So stay tuned, because by the end of this video, I'm gonna fill the factory with every toy. Anyways, Lego. Now Poppy Playtime Chapter 5 just came out and is one of the most important chapters in the game, finally introducing the prototype. So I'm gonna start by building the first chapter on the first floor, second on the second floor, and all the way up until we hit Chapter 5. And we're gonna start by dumping out all my bricks onto the table, because the first thing I'm gonna need to build from the game is the player grab pack. And it should be pretty simple because I downloaded the Brickify app and scanned all the parts I dumped out, and boom, we have a bunch of instructions for things, including the grab pack. Now we're still missing one of the macaroni pieces, so I need to go to my collection to grab one. All right, we have yellow, yellow, yellow. Oh, there we go. And these macaroni pieces should work really well. All right, where's this backpack? It's going to be over here. It's gonna be by the pink. It's gonna be somewhere here. There it is. All right, the first thing I have to build is the back, and then I have to slide this little axle through it. I think this is called an axle. Then we gotta connect those macaroni pieces to keep it locked in. Boom. Now this looks more like a grab pack. All right, next I'm going to add some yellow studs and then some blue ones. Boom and boom. Okay, next we gotta add the handles, because you know the minifigure has to hold the grab pack. So we're gonna have one here. So we're gonna add a yellow one here and a yellow one here. And next is black. Boop, boop. And for the clip, I have a blue one, but the red one's a little darker than I wanted. All right, we're just gonna lock this in and put on the head. And here's Blocky wearing the completed Lego grab pack. I mean, look at this thing. Maybe later we'll use it to go somewhere. But in the meantime, I'm going to put it on level 1 of the tower. And here's the whole factory, and we're gonna go all the way down, and right here, we're gonna put our boy Blocky McBlockface. But the next character we're gonna have to build after the grab pack is Huggy Wuggy. He was created in Chapter 1 and chased you down this hallway in this really freaky scene. And I've built my fair share of Huggy Wuggys before, but this one should be different. But the first thing I have to do again is scan. It's Huggy Wuggy time. All right, so we're gonna start with the body. All right, and now we have the body. Now it's time for the head. All right, we're gonna add the teeth to the head, and of course, the smile. All right, smile time. All right, now we just gotta plug in the eyes. Awesome. All right, let's just wrap up the head, literally. And there we go, now we have Huggy Wuggy's lips and head. And we're just gonna attach it to the torso. And now I have to build the legs. Now right now Huggy has these very tiny arms, so we have to build him normal Huggy-sized ones, so that he can give you a hug. Alright, and we're gonna start with the left arm, or his right arm. Alright, now we're just gonna tag on this arm over here. Click! And now we have to do the next arm. Alright, and then we're gonna add his elbow, which is gonna have this part, as well as this part, and the hand. Boom, he's giving a thumbs up. Alright, and we're gonna click this in, and like that, we have a fully functional Huggy Wuggy. Alright, and here's my fully functional Huggy Wuggy. He's got posable arms, posable legs, and he'll totally jump scare you. Bro, what are those eyes? Hey, I'm gonna give him a hug. No, Walter, don't do it. Alright, and now we're gonna put him in the Playtime factory. And we're going to add him here. Oh, dang it. Alright, Huggy, have a city. Awesome, now we have Huggy and the Grab Pack. I'm sure nothing bad happens with them in the factory, right? Ah, is that Huggy Wuggy? Alright, we're gonna get out of here. Huggy Wuggy, oh no. Alright, we gotta go. Now the next character I need to build is Mommy Longlegs. She was one of the main bad guys in chapter 2, and we're gonna build her. And for her, we're gonna use a lot of these special curved pieces. Alright, so let's open Brickify again and scan. And this time I put a bunch of pink parts on the table, so we should have enough for a Mommy Longlegs. So let's scan. Alright, let's do Mommy Longlegs. I think this should be enough parts. We're missing a few. First, let's build Mommy's long legs. Alright, connection time. Alright, we do this and then a stud hopper. Alright, and we have Mommy Longlegs' legs. Now it's just time for the rest of her. Yeah, that's a bad color. Alright, next I have to build her torso. Alright, so we're gonna add this arm here, and now we need to add extensions. Oh shoot. Yeah, this isn't the most stable build in the world. Alright, and then we're gonna continue extending. Bada bing, bada boom. Then we're gonna extend her arms even further. Awesome. One thing they don't tell you about Mommy Longlegs is she also has long arms. Boom, now we just have to do another one. Alright, let's put this here. Sweet. Then we just gotta extend her arm. Alright, now the last thing I have to build is the head. And the next thing I have to add is her little necklace piece. Then I'm adding these studs for her neck. And I guess this piece is going to be for her face. Alright, had to replace that because it was not hanging on. Alright, let's finish her head. And I'm taking her body off to do it. Now it's time for Mommy Longlegs' long hair. Alright, now we have the head, all I have to add is the eyes. We got 1 and 2. Oh yeah, and the mouth. Can't not have that, that would be weird. Oh, the gray face doesn't look great on her. And like that, we have a barely stable Lego Mommy Longlegs. Now this Mommy Longlegs isn't my favorite build in the world. It gets the job done, but the legs aren't that long. In fact, I think the arms are longer, which is ridiculous for a Mommy Longlegs. Overall, though, I like the build, and she's just as creepy as in the game. I guess that means it's time to add her to our Chapter 2 factory. So we're gonna take off this, and we might even need to shorten her legs again. Next, we're going to level up to the next level, which is, I guess, what you do on levels, and we're gonna put Mommy Longlegs here. And she could sit right on top of Huggy Wuggy. And since in chapter 2, Mommy Longlegs captured Poppy, I need to go get my Poppy minifigure. Where is she? Not here, apparently. Where's Poppy? Wait a minute, she is over here. There's my Poppy minifigure. All right, we're just gonna put her down and whoa, she's perfect. Oh, this duo is popping. And don't worry, we're gonna fill this next layer with characters from chapter 3, and there are a lot of them. Starting with the main villain from chapter 3, Catnap. Now, Catnap's one of the prototype's big experiments, and I have a bunch of purple parts that we could use for him. And we should have enough for instructions here, so let's try scanning. This should be enough for a full-on Catnap. All right, we're just gonna open up the app, scan our parts, and we're gonna let the scanner run. There we go, it's Catnap. All right, let's build it. All right, and the first thing we have to build is the torso. Now we have Catnap's first and second back legs. Now we have to do the front ones. And I think he has a tail too, so probably that. All right, clip and click, and then we're gonna click in this and finish out the rest of the legs. All right, now it's just time for the front feet. Now we just need to add his claws. All right, and now we're gonna snap on his tail, and now it's time to prepare for the head. All right, let's wrap up his face. And now we just gotta snap in the eyes. Now the thing that's crazy about Catnap and all the characters we've built so far is the prototype literally has their body parts on his body. He has Huggy's and Mommy's arm and Catnap's like back skin. I don't know, but we gotta put Catnap in the Poppy Playtime factory. All right, we're gonna have the cat hiding in the corner. But he's not the only character from chapter 3 we're gonna do because we have another room. So the next character I'm gonna put in that room is Dog Day. He kind of leads the smiling critters. So we're gonna scan all these parts with Brickify and see if we have enough for him. Yo, no way, we have 98% of the pieces. All right, let's build this dog. So we're gonna start with his legs. Click, click, bada bick. Bro, what happened to his legs? All right, let's keep building. All right, we have a full body now. All right, so we're gonna attach this and build out his arm and hand. There we go. If I remember, in the game, they low-key crucified, bro. So this should be similar. And we're gonna do that in our factory. Wait, what? All right, and next up is this piece, which I think is gonna let us build out a head. Now we gotta build out his ears. So let's finish those. And then we're gonna do these pieces. Now the last thing I need to do is the face. So we got on the mouth, the smile, and the littler smile. Oh yeah, and then he has to have eyes. I see you.
I see.
All right, now we're gonna slap on this and slap on this. And here's our fully completed Dog Day. Yo, he looks great. Yo, now this guy's pretty doggone epic. So we're gonna add him to the factory. And we're so close to filling this entire thing. We still have chapters 4 and 5. But in the meantime, all right, and now we have 2 characters from chapter 3 right here. Now we're gonna fill up this next floor with someone special. All right, so this next character we're gonna build using the app is gonna be pretty doughy. All right, first we're gonna do Doughy's feet. All right, first we're gonna build Doughy's torso, then we're gonna add his arms. He's got orange, red, yellow, all the colors of the Play-Doh. I mean rainbow. All right, there's Doughy's body. Now let's just add on his head. All right, let's add an eye and another eye, or more like a giant hole, because that's kind of what he has there. And the last thing I need to add is his top hat, which we're gonna use one of these for, as well as one of these. And boom, we have Doughy the Dough Man. Yo, he looks awesome. Doughy was actually one of my favorite characters from all of Poppy Playtime, even though, you know, he killed Pianosaurus and, you know, got completely crushed as that weird, I don't even know what that was.
Who and Poppy?
but here he looks cool. Now, lucky for us, Doey's not the only character we're putting up here from Chapter 4, because we're also gonna build the Doctor. Now, Harley Sawyer was a doctor at Playtime Co., but then he became a TV screen, and all his organs were like stored in like computer systems. And is he a bad guy? Kinda, not really actually. Well, we did see him by the end of Chapter 5. So let's build him. All right, scanning, scanning, scanning. All right, let's see if we have enough parts for him. There he is. Boom, the Doctor. Okay, let's build him. All right, let's add legs. All right, the first thing we got is his legs. They're very unstable right now. All right, now we gotta add this and one of these. All right, and apparently we're giving him some type of hips right now. I don't know why. We got an arm and another arm. Bada boom. Oh yeah, he also comes with a cape, but I honestly don't know how this is supposed to like attach. Okay, ready? Bada boom. And then we have the head. Bada bing, bada boom. Oh shoot, I got ahead of myself. All right, and the last thing I'm going to add is his eye. All right, there's the Doctor. Look at this guy. He's freaking dope. He does look like a robot though. We're gonna put him with our boy, Doey the Dough Man. There's so many more characters I wanted to do, like Yarnaby or Pianosaurus, but we're gonna have to move on to Chapter 5. And at the top, we're gonna put the prototype. So let's start with our first character from Chapter 5, Giblet. Now, Giblet's one of the main leaders of the Resistance in Poppy Playtime Chapter 5, and he fought Love Braids, the prototype, and a whole bunch of other people. So we're gonna build him. All right, so we're gonna start off with his legs, then go to his torso, and he has this red dot there, and then I gotta plug in an arm and another arm. And then we gotta add on his chunky cheeks and eye. Yeah, because he has an eye patch in one eye. Then he has this little electrocution staff, and boom, we have Giblet, or Giblet, I don't know how to pronounce it, but he comes with a mohawk. He looks like a bear, but someone told me he's a fox. Comment below what you think he is. And he's really freaking cute. Well, not the back side of him. All right, and we're gonna add him to level 5. Oh wow, it's getting dark up here. I guess that means the prototype's coming soon. All right, now the next character we have to build is Chompkins. So I opened up the app, scanned my parts again, and boom, we have enough for Chum. So I started with his feet, his torso, which is this giant mouth, and then we added all these other red parts, and then we're gonna just add in the eyes and the head, and then we had to just add in the arms and the teeth, and of course the mouth. And boom, we have our boy Chum. Oh, he's cool. He's got these like pieces under his arm and his other arm, and he also has a mouth that opens and closes. And he could also eat Walter. Oh. All right, let's put Chum in the tower. Yo, we got the whole squad here. Let's go. Now there's one more character I have to build from Playtime Co. And it is the prototype. Now, I'll be honest, I don't think I could do the prototype right with the Brickify app or my own custom build. So we're gonna design this one digitally. And then hopefully we could even recreate some scenes from the game. So one of the first things we have to do is the base of him. So that way we can attach all those legs. He has like 6 of them. So we're gonna do that. And then we're gonna add on these little like bone structure things. I don't know what you call those, but they're on his design. Huge shout out to Brickfolk, by the way. He gave some interesting designs that we took a lot of inspiration from. All right, let's clip in these legs though. All right, we got one here, one over here, and one over here. In this video, I'm gonna build the life of Huggy, Wuggy, and Lego, from his creation at Playtime Co. to his vent chases, all the way to his death. So stay tuned, because by the end of this video, you're gonna get hugged. Anyways, Lego. Now, Huggy Wuggy is one of the most iconic horror game characters literally ever created. He started as a friendly mascot for Playtime Co. in the 1980s, had his own toy line, commercials, and even a theme song.
It's Huggy, Huggy Wuggy, when he hugs you, he'll never stop.
Now in the game, we never saw Huggy as a baby, but Playtime Co. did make him as a little toy Wuggy, and I'm gonna build one. All right, so we're gonna open the Brickify app, and then there should be a pile scanner right over here. Click. All right, let's see if we have enough parts to build a Huggy Wuggy. All right, we're done. All right, let's see what builds we can add. All right, Smurf, Flower, Running Man, Rainbow, Car, Mini Huggy. All right, let's build this guy. All right, so the first thing I gotta build a Mini Huggy is the Wuggy legs. All right, we gotta connect these. All right, we're gonna clip in this hand and this hand. Bada boom. We got this torso and the arms. All right, it turns out the little Wuggy also has hands. So we're gonna add those, add this tile. We have this one over here. Gonna give him a neck, and then a headpiece. Where is that? All right, we got this here and this here. And the next thing we're gonna do is this boy and this boy, and then we're just gonna attach this here. And the last thing we have to do is the mouth and eyes. Got mouth 1, mouth 2, eyeball 1, and eyeball 2. Oh, sweet. And boom, we have a baby Wuggy. He's so cute. Now in chapter 5, we saw how Huggy Wuggy became evil and how Playtime Co. put real people into all the toys, then made Huggy literally sacrifice all of them. So I'm gonna recreate that scene where he broke out after they tried brainwashing him into thinking he was a giant toy. So I hopped on my computer and got to building out the characters, specifically starting with this freaky guy. And since this is a first-person point of view of Huggy, we just had to build his arms. And then I had to quickly build something that represents the chamber he was in with all the screens and windows, and of course the hallway, which we're going to need. And now I had to make and animate out this whole scene, having Huggy go all the way down the hallway, which took approximately 12 hours to do, but we were able to recreate this. And make sure to stay tuned, because this isn't the only shocking Huggy scene from Chapter 5 we're going to be making. Now the first and last time we thought we saw Huggy was in Chapter 1, and it turns out that Brickcraft made a whole entire official set of him from this chapter, but we have to go to Walmart to get him. And here's Huggy Wuggy. It says it's from Poppy Playtime, has 240 pieces, and it even says to turn around for a hug, so yeah, that's freaky. Yo, wait a minute, his head is double-sided? I don't have to put on those teeth every time I want to twist his head? Oh, that's awesome. All right, we're gonna open him up. All right, Huggy, see you later, woo! All right, it looks like we have a bag 1, a bag 1, and a bag 2. And I guess all these pipes in his mouth thing. So let's build him. Yo, I'm kind of curious to see what these instructions are like. Yo, that's a freaky picture of him. All right, let's get started. All right, so the first thing we have to build is the body. We're gonna open up the first bag. All right, we're gonna dump this one too. All right, and this looks to be the base of Huggy. So the next thing we're gonna do is clip in these pieces, and I'll leave an affiliate link to buy these, by the way, you know, if it ends up being good. All right, we're gonna put this here and this here. We're gonna do this here, put on this piece, and this piece. Awesome. All right, next we're gonna clip on this and this. All right, let's keep going. All right, and I think we're doing the same thing for the other side. We're gonna zoom in a little more, because these are tiny pieces. All right, and we're gonna do the same dealio with this. All right, I think it's interesting how they're making it red, because it's like actual guts. Flip in this and do the other side. All right, so he is literally gonna be the same on both sides, which is gonna be interesting because you could look at him from either side and he'll look like Huggy Wuggy, and it won't look like the back side of Huggy Wuggy. This in, boom, okay. The next thing we're going to do is this and this. Okay, that's looking pretty epic. This should go right over here. All right, sweet. Okay, this torso is freaking awesome. Now it's time to take all these parts and build, I guess, what are supposed to end up being the hands. All right, let's attempt that. Oh, this is a foot. What the foot? All right, we're gonna add toes now. I never built Lego toes before, I don't think. Oh, sweet. All right, we're gonna build the other one and then do the legs. Sweet, we have feet. All right, now the next thing I have to do is assemble the legs. Sweet. All right, plug this into this foot and plug this into this foot. All right, we're gonna plug in this and plug in this. All right, we're putting that there. And I guess next I have to do the arms, but I might have made him too tall, I don't know. All right, let's do hand number 1. All right, so I guess this is supposed to be the hand. Oh yeah, that's his thumb. Oh, that's so cute. All right, so we need a total of 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, that's a pretty big thumbs up. All right, time to do the next hand. Okay, sweet. All right, now we just have to plug in the arms. All right, so we have the headless torso. Now it's time to open bag number 2. This one should have the eyes in it, and we should be able to build the entire head. Ah, I see. Oh yeah, and we also have the little rubber mouth that comes in this bag. This build's actually surprisingly simple so far, and it uses cool pieces like this one I've never seen before. All right, so I'm assuming this is like the neck connection point type thing. I've never seen one of these double-sided before. That would be so useful, the double-stacked ones. Now we got this, and we got this. Bada bing. Now we're gonna do the other side. Bop pow. Oh, sweet, okay. All right, now we're gonna do the face, and I guess this is where we're setting the groundwork for those like scary looking mouths. All right, we're gonna add a clip here, and I guess we're gonna do another one that's going to have one of these. Okay, and we're going to snap that on in to here, and then we're gonna check out the other side. We got this and this. We're gonna do a bit of this and this. Awesome. This, this, this. Then we're gonna do it again. Okay, neat. All right, put this here. All right, cool. We have these two. This here, and this here. Sweet. So we're gonna put this over here on this side, and we're gonna put this over here on this side. Awesome. Oh, and you guys know what we have to do now? We have to connect the mouth. Oh, that's a Huggy Wuggy shape. Yes. Oh, that's so wuggalicious. I just invented that. And now we gotta plug in his eyes. Click, 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 and click. And then to make the teeth, the first thing I have to do is center the mouth. And we're gonna do this, and we're gonna do this. Okay, sweet. Look at that. All right, now we just gotta plug in the teeth, and they're actually not as bad as I thought. It seems like this is cooperating pretty well. Sweet, okay, cool. All right, we're gonna put this here, and this one's gonna go over here. And then the other one, I guess, is just gonna be like a lot simpler than that. Oh, yo, look at this boy. All right, now we just have to snap on the head. Yo, look, here's a common friendly Huggy Wuggy, and here's the murderous one. Ah! Yo, he looks like something the real Playtime Co. would actually make as a toy that they sold. I mean, not this version, obviously. Children wouldn't like that. That would be a little violent. All right, he looks pretty epic. Anyway, let's make the next part of Huggy Wuggy's life. Now, what's funny is we all thought Huggy died in Chapter 1, when in the game you knock this box on him, but apparently not, because we see him at the very end of Chapter 4 alive and somewhat well. Which is why Chapter 5 started with another Huggy vent chase scene, and we're gonna do that in Lego, but with a simpler Huggy model than this one. So I went back into Blender and began assembling this much more damaged looking Huggy, because you know. I also digitally assembled a grab pack, because you know the game is in first person. And lastly was the hallway, which I had to do a lot of stuff for, like these pipes and grills and buttons. Then it was just a matter of rigging the animations, adding sound effects. Oh yeah, and we're also gonna do that elevator scene. And here was my recreation. Oh my gosh, no! Okay, I think I landed. I think we're good. Oh my goodness! Well, hey, at least he has his grab pack. No, his grab pack! But you know, Huggy had a partner made for him named Kissy Missy. And up until Chapter 5, they never officially interacted. So I needed to make her, and lucky for me, Brickcraft also made one that was at Walmart. Why is that over there? Anyways, we brought her back home. Boom, we got her. And this set also is exclusive to Comic-Con? It's at my freaking Walmart. It says turn around for a kiss. Okay. They keep doing that to me. It's literally the exact same thing as Huggy, just in pink with the blue bow. It's literally the same thing. All right, fine, Huggy, I'll open her. We're just gonna, got him. All right, Kissy Missy, you know where you're going? Yeet. All right, so here's the Kissy instructions and here's the Huggy instructions. It's literally the same model with eyebrows. What the heck? All right, we're gonna open this one and this one. All right, this is bag 1, and this is bag 2, and this is also bag 1. Ironically, I think the head has more parts than the entire body. That's crazy. All right, get out there, come on, boom. And now that we're more experienced, this should go quicker. So let's build this a little faster. We're gonna do the body first. All right, we're gonna add the bow, boom. Okay, now we have most of the body done. All right, now we just gotta wrap up this side and this side. All right, now it's foot time. All right, look, we have feet. Now it's time for legs. So we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Boom, okay. All right, let's click these boys in. Ready? We're gonna go click, and we're gonna go click. Bada boom. All right, let's click this boy in. 1, 2, 3. All right, we got arms. We clip those in, and now we just gotta build out the hands. All right, we're getting closer to Kissy. All right, we have 2 big thumbs up. All right, we just gotta adjust her hands. So we got 1 thumb here, and we got 1 stub here. All right, awesome. You know what's crazy is Kissy Missy has even more time in the game than Huggy Wuggy. Like, she's, I'm pretty sure, literally in chapters like 3, 4, and 5. Well, Huggy's just in 2 and at the very end of 4. I'm pretty sure, you could correct me in the comments. But now we're gonna open up bag 2, rip, and we're gonna open up this boy. Oh, sweet. All right, this should be similar to Huggy. In fact, these pieces are literally the exact same color. I think it's just gonna be legit like the pink swap. It's like a Barbie movie. All right, anyway, let's keep building. All right, so we have 1 completed side. Now we're gonna do the other one, but that one's not fully completed. All right, we'll find it later. Until then, let's do the mouth. Awesome, okay. We're gonna add this here, this here, this here, and this here. All right, now we're gonna add the eyebrows. This is the first time I've done something a little different. So eyebrows go here, and there's like left and right eyebrow. And we just do the rest of them like we normally would. Awesome, boom, sweet. All right, and we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this, bada bing, bada bow, and then we're gonna do this. And then we're gonna snap that on. Oh, it's like a heart shape. Oh, that's so cute. Okay, cool. We have the eyes in, and then we're gonna do the eyes in over here on the other side. And then first we're gonna do the friendly mouth that, you know, doesn't require teeth. Yeah, okay, that's a little too friendly there, pal. Okay, sweet, there he is. All right, now we have to do the angry one. Well, now it's kind of like not angry. Oh wait, we have to do it this way because he has to have the little like lip in his mouth. Okay, cool. All right, now we're gonna do this, and we're gonna do this, this, and then she has this middle tooth thing going on. Then we're gonna need 2 over here. 1, 2, 3. Awesome. But you know who we need to put her with? Huggy Wuggy. Aw, they're so cute together. Aww. Oh, look, it's Kissy Missy, and he's giving her a hug. The scary faces on the back is not helping with this. Aw, they're so cute. It would be a real shame if someone tried to ruin this level of happiness. Now, at the end of chapter 5, they were finally both reunited, and I wanted to animate that scene in Lego. So I built her up, put her with Huggy, then built out this whole scene, and now I could recreate their reunion. This was actually so sad. But the nice thing is they were literally made for each other and died with each other. I think that's pretty special.